Message to the youth. Oh man, yo. My message to the youth is this. Be better than us. Be better than the last generation. Be better than us. So I tell my kids all the time. You know what I mean? Each generation's supposed to get better than the last one. Smarter. You know what I mean? Making better moves. Shit.
I don't give a fuck about none of y'all rappers.
Rap inquisitor, general, torture, a rapping dummy. Wearing eyeshadow, piercing his tongue and tummy, piercing the lips and wearing gay earrings, king. One was bad, but now y'all are killing it, king. Some rappers taking it, some giving it, king. Just to have a whip in a mansion, be living it bling. Living it artificial, acting like clones. When I hit you by text, I don't mean by phones. Morris squad bomb rappers on tracks like drones. Like casual, I didn't mean to put bats to your dome. Splitting numbskulls, squashing pea brains. No lean nails on fingers when I does it. Little chicken McNuggets, wrapping meal toys. Got young gods clapping, leave you limp like steam back Troy, asking what's happened, like you didn't know or expect it. For talking that misleading trash on all your records. Morris MC of the year, some say I'm a jerk. Around too much truth and your feelings got hurt. You rapping Ernie and Burks on microphone masters.
I don't give a fuck about none of y'all rappers.
Morris MC of the year, some say I'm a jerk. Around too much truth and your feelings got hurt. You rapping Ernie and Burks wearing skirts, I clap you cuz
I don't give a fuck about none of y'all rappers.
there's nothing you homo rappers do that surprise me. Rapper inquisitor make you eat poison ivy. Trinbago hot sauce all in your eyes for burning. For not teaching on mics that from Masons they learning. Rap black Nazis and you're not even German. Rather rap heads with t-shirts than Moorish turbans. Turning Heru logos to American eagles. Gold noose rope chains, only songs about cocaine. Cough syrup and liquor mix you whack DJs. Still stacks of vinyl crates if we play. Don't believe anything or follow what cheeks say. I study, keep my album sides broken and some sides bloody. Burn rappers like crosses in front of your homes. Moorish Ku Klux Klan and stomping on lawn gnomes. Throwing hip-hop award bricks through rappers' windows. Most hip-hop songs are just commercial jingles. Moorish MC of the year, some say I'm a jerk. Around too much truth and your feelings got hurt. You rapping Ernie and Burks on microphone masters.
I don't give a fuck about none of y'all rappers.
Moorish MC of the year, some say I'm a jerk. Around too much truth and your feelings got hurt. You rapping Ernie and Burks wearing skirts, I clap you cuz
I don't give a fuck about none of y'all rappers.
It's like full-blown war in the Gideon. Get it wrong, we're coming forth strong like the bit is on. Salute to the God Abaddon, who they know like Iron Sheep, giving out the knowledge in the songs and in the streets to the ones that seek. Yes, the meek will inherit. It's truth, I no ferret. Turn up my speakers a little louder so you can hear it. Don't be fooled by my appearance, I am clearing up the record. No, we ain't finished yet. Slaughterhouse for these dummy rappers who ain't been a threat. I'm dumping all your records to the curb. I'm bringing back the classics. Give me J. Rue, that brass tack shit. Bumping MOP and that boot camp click. I'm crushing all you candy rappers. And yo, if seeing is believing, I ain't sure that none of you harder than my breakfast, tea and crackers.
Moorish MC of the year, some say I'm a jerk. Around too much truth and your feelings got hurt.
The one thing we do is hip-hop that no other genre of music do is the older you get in hip-hop, the more we kind of shut you out. Whereas rock and roll embrace their legends, or the OGs. But we don't embrace our OGs and all that. And it ain't, you know what I mean, which is a shame, you know what I mean?
When we came to America, it was so nice. It was just Indians, and they weren't even Indians. We called them that by accident, and we still call them that.
Is this you discussing Indian blood? We're going to judge people by whether they have Indian blood, whether they're qualified to run a gaming casino or not?
That probably is me, absolutely. Because I'll tell you what, if you look at some of the reservations that you've approved, you, sir, in your great wisdom have approved, I will tell you right now, they don't look like Indians to me.
You niggas don't want it? You niggas don't want it? Said you niggas don't want it, you niggas don't want it, you niggas don't want it.
And they don't look like the Indians. Now, maybe we say politically correct or not politically correct. They don't look like Indians.
We came here, they're like, hi, and we're like, hey, you're Indians, right? And they're like, no. No, this is India, right? No, it's not, it's totally other place. You're not Indians? No. Ah, you're Indians.
To me, and they don't look like Indians to Indians.
We're in a lot of trouble here, aren't we?
Just stay calm. Let me do the talking. Humphrey, don't say anything.
This is the weirdest Indian tribe I've ever seen.
And a lot of people are laughing at it, and you're telling how tough it is, how rough it is to get approved. Well, you go up to Connecticut, and you look. Now, they don't look like Indians to me, sir.
He says, who are you, assholes?
Thank God that's not the test of whether or not people have rights in this country or not, whether or not they pass your look test.
Depends whether or not you're approving it, sir.
No, it's not a question whether I'm approving it. It's not a question whether I'm approving it. Mr. Trump, you know in the history of this country where we've heard this discussion before, they don't look Jewish to me.
Oh, really?
They don't look Indian to me.
Could you tell me what tribe this is?
We are Indians.
Yes, I see that, but what Indians?
You don't think we are Indians?
No, I just,
We have teepees.
Right, I see, but...
Look at all these teepees we have. Because we are Indians.
Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button and you subscribe. Also hit that bell as well, so when I drop a new video, you get the notification. Thank you. So we're going to just jump right in. This here is a picture of Isaac and Rosa, supposedly slave children from New Orleans from the year of 1860. Long story short, they started selling photos of emancipated children to raise funds for education. But the problem with this photo was, as you can clearly see, one is white and one is black.
Sisters and brothers, most especially descendants who have traveled so far to be with us. Today, the Society of Jesus, who helped to establish Georgetown University and whose leaders enslaved and mercilessly sold your ancestors, stands before you to say that we have greatly sinned in our thoughts and in our words, in what we have done, and in what we have failed to do. We pray with you today because we have greatly sinned and because we are profoundly sorry. It is our very enslavement of another, our very ownership of another, culminating in the tragic sale of 272 women, men, and children that remains with us to this day, trapping us in an historic truth for which we implore mercy and justice, hope and healing. We betrayed the very name of Jesus, for whom our least society is named. Now, nearly 200 years later, we know that we cannot heal from this tragic history alone.
We do not seek to move on with this apology, but to move forward with open hearts to respond to the urgent demands of justice still present in our time. The expression of contrition that we offer today guides, permeates, animates our ongoing work for justice. We build a more just world with honest reflection on our past and a commitment to a faith that does justice.
Deeming slavery was just not an issue of color, but rather the same issues that we're facing today. The rich staying rich and the poor staying poor.
And as long as you tell your mind it's broken, it's going to behave like a broken mind. It's going to keep you poor, hungry, and scared. That's imperfect. Turn that shit around. I am G-O-D right now. I am master, able, and noble right now. That's your prayer for transforming yourself to G-O-D. See? And don't accept anything less than that. Stop being a servant. Stop groveling in your prayers. Claim your divinity. Claim your godhood. Claim the knowledge of the universe. Claim your wealth. Noble Drew Ali told the Moors, each and every one of you is supposed to inherit $1 million. And he said that in 1920-something. How many millionaires we got now? Hell, you can't, what do you mean not many? We got so many we can't even count them, man. Where you living at?
And the money's staying where they feel like it belongs.
Is still languished in the corners of American society and finds himself in exile in his own land.
The reason why he said you're in exile in your own land is because you are actually indigenous to the Americans. And the Indians that you see today are actually a mix between Asians.
June. Jeune? Jun.
No, it's John.
What? We have the same name! Am I Asian? Oh, I knew I was Asian! Dude! What? Dude, Jared! I'm Asian, man!
In Spanish. This picture I have before you right now is actually belongs to the Pinoy tribe, who are basically indigenous to the Philippines, and they actually still openly practice the same traditions.
One of Asia's deadliest and longest-running conflicts may have just come to an end, as Filipino President Rodrigo Duterte signed the Bangsamoro Organic Law, which grants partial autonomy to the Muslims in the south after a 5-decade war. 150,000 have died in the conflict between Moro Muslims and the government of the Philippines. But for Moro Muslims, it's part of a centuries-long struggle for self-determination. The Moro minority makes up 5% of the population of the Catholic-dominated Philippines. Islam was first introduced to the islands in the 14th century, and trade with Brunei, Malaysia and Indonesia led to the establishment of Muslim communities which fought two colonizers. First the Spanish, whom they resisted from the 16th to the 19th century in one of the world's longest anti-colonial wars. Then the US annexed the Philippines, including the Moro areas of Mindanao and Sulu. When the nation gained independence in 1946, it included the territories inhabited by the Moro people. In the late 1960s, the conflict between Moro and Christian communities escalated and peaked in the mid-1970s. The Moro Islamic Liberation Front, one of the biggest armed resistance groups, fielded some 30,000 armed fighters, and the Philippine military deployed up to 80% of its combat forces against them. Around 50,000 people were killed and there was huge destruction. Despite that, talks between the government and the Moros began in late 1976 and have continued on and off for decades, with the Moro Islamic Liberation Front as the biggest Muslim group. A deal was finally reached in 2014, paving the way for the new law.
So government found it more important to have peace with the MILF instead of spending billions of pesos in the purchase of weapons and ammunition, because to them, the war in Mindanao cannot be won by either side. Of course, we cannot win over government, especially on conventional warfare, but neither government can trust the MNLF and the MILF, especially when we resort to a non-conventional mode of fighting, which means guerrilla warfare.
The law signed by President Duterte would give the Moro people more control of their finances. 75% of the regional internal revenue collection would go to the Bangsamoro and 25% to the central government. There would be an 80-member parliament, and Islamic law would be incorporated into the region's justice system. But security would stay with the central government, meaning the Bangsamoro couldn't have their own military and police forces. The Moro Islamic Liberation Front would have to disband its army. Now people living in the areas of Mindanao covered by the agreement will get to vote on it in a referendum before the end of 2018. It could mean peace for a turbulent region, but would also not be the first agreement to fail.
That the Native Americans of this so-called land practice today.
Yeah, they have teepees.
Where is your destination?
Breckenridge. It's a small town east of here.
I know. There are lots of gold. That's not?
Yeah, that's the place.
I'm afraid there is terrible storm in the mountain. So, if you like, you may wait here with us and other assholes for storm to calm down.
You have been told a blatant lie. And told that you were I can't even say it with a slave face anymore after doing my own research and finding out the truth. I'm gonna tell you this one time, you are not from Africa. What happened in the beginning was nothing more than people putting their manipulation skills to work. That's why when you actually read the Emancipation of Proclamation or the 13th Amendment, they always have a clause in there about indentured servants.
This is from the Connecticut, 1839, published. 1839, published. In their state copy of the federal Constitution, they list 13 amendments, including the 13th one, which is not the Freedom from Slavery and Involuntary Servitude Amendment of 1865. This was ratified in 1812. If any citizen of the United States shall accept, claim, receive, or retain any title of nobility or honor, or shall, without the consent of Congress, accept and retain any present, pension, office, or emolument of any kind whatever from any emperor, king, prince, or foreign power. The Federal Reserve Bank is a foreign power, mainly dominated by foreign bankers, okay? King, prince, or foreign power, such person shall cease, that means to stop, being a citizen of the United States and shall be incapable of holding any office of trust or profit under them or either of them.
Which is exactly what you were and your ancestors were, working basically on promises.
See, that's him. See, that's a troll. You spray his ass.
You see, everyone actually had indentured servants. It wasn't just by race. It was basically by status and the money you had. But when the Emancipation of Proclamation was actually signed, it put an end to illegal indentured servants.
When we think about celebration of Emancipation Day, of course, people are thrilled. Around the country, you're seeing these kinds of celebrations. You're seeing people who are overjoyed that at last, the one thing that they have been fighting for and looking for finally occurs. But we do not call Lincoln the great liberator. We call him the great emancipator. And there's a reason that we distinguish those terms and those words. Emancipation means you're freed from slavery. But it's going to take the Civil Rights Amendments, it's going to take the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th Amendment to start to bring in the rhetoric of liberty, to start to bring freedom, because the Emancipation Proclamation was a release. It did not guarantee the rights of freedom that we're thinking about, and to draw these distinctions, I think is very important.
We as people have always been hustlers since way back in time. So, in order not to pay certain people, there were a lot of illegal indentured servants. Not just owned by blacks, but as whites as well. So when they signed the Emancipation Proclamation and they made this illegal, the punishment for breaking this law was you had to give up your land and pay money. But this wasn't a system that actually affected the Europeans. It only affected people of color. So basically what they did is they came on and found a loophole to seize everyone's land. All landowners had to seize their land, in which they actually ended up giving it right back to them, but not to the people of color. It went into the hands of the Europeans.
Property can't own property. All right? Let's say that again. Property can't own property. Property can't own property. We need to understand that concept.
To affirm, I have divine will power, and I use it for good. Be sure and add G-O-O-D. This can get you out of order. Okay, when you get to that will center, stuff start happening.
But don't just take my word on it. I'm going to show you a clip of where Dr. Martin Luther King actually tells you the same thing that I'm speaking of right now, which is the loophole that allowed them to physically take America from the people.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land. In the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms.
The level of your desires, how high are they? If they're down here, you're going to get what down here draws. Okay. And that includes poverty, raggedy cars, bad jobs, stupid bosses.
Not only that, today many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps.
Real money. And don't ask God for some money, because a penny is money, and he'll give you a penny if you ask for a penny. You know what I'm saying? Quit asking for cheap shit. Why is it you don't think you're supposed to live a wonderful, pleasant, prosperous life? Who told you you wasn't supposed to do that? Nobody but you. Well, quit doing that. Yeah, quit going for the okey doke. It's okey doke. I'm poor. It's okey doke. I ain't got shit. It's okey doke. You know, I'm sick. It's okey doke. You know, I don't know shit. It's okey doke. Quit going for okey doke. You hear me? Now I'm talking to your spirit, because that's what's going to get you out of poverty. And that's what's going to get you out of hell. Is the God within yourself. That's the one you're looking for. That's your best friend. And that's the only one will be with you forever. When Jesus goes somewhere else, that God will still be there. You sure enough want to make him and her your best friend. See? A God that'll always tell you the truth. Only if you will always listen. When you stop listening, everybody starts telling you a lie. Because that's what you're looking for. When you stop listening to your own truth, take the responsibility of being God. How do you get there? One way, and one way only. By desire. You have to want to be God. You can't get there no other way. The psychological assumption automatically provides the means to fulfill the dream desire is the law of mind in action. The psychological assumption automatically provides the means to fulfill the dream desire. If you do not have the desire to become God, you are not going to become God, certainly not by accident. That's a car running over you, not God. You have to have it in here. If you want to be a servant, that's already in there.
This is what we are faced with. And this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
That's easy. Upgrade. You heard the statement, all grow up.
James, Stang.
Check. Catastrophic demand for profit. Mash up tropics with cyber optics. Fiber optics. Lies through logic. Carbon copies. It's psychologic. Crazy math and then fly to deal with froggy. You make me laugh. Send your kamikaze into my booby trap. You're super sloppy, don't deal with stupid hobbits. Trillions of nukes inside me, and if I choose to lob it, I know the spooks are watching. Probably have another excuse to invade my apartment. So I have a house, couple office space. I don't talk about you in food and I'm stuffing my face. And when I'm finished eating, all evidence erased. Yeah, my dad and uncle showed me a couple K's. I ain't talking drugs, I'm talking brain. Psychological game, mythological theme. Left me out in the rain until it's soaked in. And when they took me in, I took note till I broke pens. Then my intelligence quotient increased by exponent. Omen. Is it an omen or a sign of the prophet? Should it be showing to the blind or the blockhead? Seeds are sowing through the lines of the logic. It is always the mind over object. It's 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 always the mind over object. Happy hour or coffee power. Subliminal sent through the broadcast tower. Masterpiece or blasphemies. Results may vary if you ask the beast. But who's the beast? Don't spook me out, brother. Another time, another place, a metaphors may hover. But I will tell you this, it's not some reptilian or some pitchfork pussy pushed by Christians. And maybe those who don't want to see the shade of cinnamon or any trace of black disappearing in their children's skin. But that's another time, another place, brother. We use these instrumentals to rock them out of slumber. Some of this food is hard on the stomach. Sometimes you chew when you chew through the rubber, and it's still too tough for you to swallow. We're only human, sometimes you beg and borrow. But you didn't have to steal, motherfucker. And you haven't learned steel, motherfucker. Using lumber and steel to plunder and make war. Steel can't trust you, motherfucker. Is it an omen or a sign of the prophet? Should it be showing to the blind or the blockhead? Seeds are sowing through the lines of the logic. It is always the mind over object. It's 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 always the mind over object. Fantasia or Santeria? Choices, are you a believer? Well, that depends, I see zombies every day. Life imitating, not copying the TV. Hare Krishna or Bhakti Vishwa? You learn, depend upon the lessons of your teacher. So was it nature or nurture? Was he a saint or a pervert? These questions seem unfamiliar. No squares can be round, we kill nerves. Along with the linear thinkers, contemplating some complicated big words that in the grand scheme make no difference. Soft prick up on a stiff cunt. You forget I'm Doctor Who, what, why, where, when, how, no elephant in the room. Doctor Who. Relevant absolutions. Doctor Who. Relevant master student. Doctor Who. Credible captions too. Doctor Who. Testing them would be foolish. It's always